Napoleon Hill as a kid, he had an IQ of 60. He was called stupid by his teachers. They told him he'd never amount to anything. And yet he became one of the wealthiest men in the world. So how did Napoleon Hill go from having an IQ of 60 to becoming a millionaire? Well, through sheer grit and determination. He worked tirelessly to educate himself. He read voraciously, studied the world around him, and eventually became one of the most successful businessmen of all time. But there's more to Napoleon Hill's story than just hard work. In this video, we'll explore how his unique approach to thinking helped him achieve greatness. Did you know that Napoleon Hill started school at the age of 13? It was quite unusual back then for boys to be educated in schools designed for girls. Most parents preferred that their sons receive a more traditional education at home or in a private academy. However, when Napoleon Hill's father died when he was just 13 years old, his mother sent him to live with his uncle and aunt in Alabama, who operated a school for young ladies. This is where Napoleon Hill began his formal education. But it wasn't long before his teachers realized that he wasn't like the other students. In fact, they thought he was downright stupid. "You are a disgrace to the profession," said one teacher to his aunt. "I have never seen a boy with so little natural ability." Despite the fact that he was almost twice as old as the other kids in his class, Napoleon struggled to learn basic subjects. By the time he reached the 4th grade, he could neither read nor write well enough to keep up with his classmates. At that point, his teachers threw their hands up in defeat and labeled him as stupid. After being expelled from school for fighting with a classmate over derogatory remarks about his mother, Napoleon went to work full-time in his uncle's lumberyard. For several years, he worked hard and saved his money, determined to make something of himself despite what his teachers had told him. Throughout his childhood, Napoleon had been plagued by self-doubt, but he refused to let it defeat him. Instead, he channeled his anger into action. When he heard people say he couldn't do something, he proved them wrong. And no matter how difficult things got, Napoleon never gave up hope. He knew that if he could just get an education, then maybe he would be able to change his life. So at the age of 19, he enrolled in a night school course to learn bookkeeping. Although he was older than the other students and had to work during the day, Napoleon was determined to succeed. With unwavering focus and effort, he excelled in his studies and impressed everyone around him with his intelligence. After finishing the course, Napoleon continued to hone his skills by reading books on finance and business. Soon enough, his reputation for financial acumen preceded him, and he began working as a freelance accountant. Although his salary was modest, Napoleon was content with his progress and bided his time until an opportunity presented itself. In 1908, at the age of 26, Napoleon Hill landed a job as an assistant secretary for the Zinc Corporation of America. This was his big break, and he took full advantage of it. He quickly climbed the corporate ladder, eventually becoming vice president and general manager of the company. During his time at the Zinc Corporation of America, Napoleon met Andrew Carnegie, who would become one of his closest friends and mentor. Carnegie was a famous rich man and industrialist who owned Carnegie Steel, which produced 25% of the nation's steel. Through Carnegie, Napoleon was introduced to other influential figures and gained valuable insights into the world of finance and business. However, tragedy struck in 1914 when Andrew Carnegie passed away. Devastated by the loss of his friend and mentor, Napoleon resigned from his position at the Zinc Corporation of America and returned to his hometown. Feeling lost and unsure of what to do next, Napoleon sought solace in writing, pouring his thoughts and experiences onto paper. Little did he know that this decision would change his life forever. After returning to his hometown, Napoleon struggled to find his footing. He felt lost without the guidance of his friend Andrew Carnegie and was unsure what to do next. But instead of wallowing in self-pity, he decided to channel his energy into writing, pouring his thoughts and experiences onto paper. As he wrote, he began to feel a sense of purpose and direction. Writing gave him an outlet for his emotions and helped him make sense of the world around him. And as he continued to write, he began to develop a unique philosophy that would eventually make him famous. One day, while attending a lecture in the city, Napoleon overheard some bankers discussing the idea of getting rich quick. Intrigued, he decided to do some research and soon discovered that these bankers were preying on the hopes and dreams of ordinary people who wanted to make a quick buck. Outraged by their deceit, Napoleon wrote an article exposing their schemes and published it in a local newspaper. To his surprise, the article was a hit, and readers from across the country sent letters thanking him for shedding light on these fraudulent activities. Realizing the power of the pen, Napoleon decided to double down on his writing career. He wrote another article exposing a wealthy stock speculator named Sam Peck, who had defrauded investors and lived a lavish lifestyle off their hard-earned money. Once again, readers from across the country expressed their gratitude to Napoleon for exposing Peck's shady dealings. These two experiences had a profound impact on Napoleon and inspired him to continue writing and exposing those who preyed on the vulnerable. Through his writing, Napoleon earned the respect and admiration of people from all walks of life. His unique perspective and ability to connect with readers made him a household name and paved the way for his future success. In 1907, at the age of 26, Napoleon Hill had a chance encounter that would change his life forever. He met a rich businessman named R.U. Darby, who became his first official mentor. Under Darby's guidance, Napoleon learned the secrets of making money and was amazed by the power of the mind. Darby taught him how to use his imagination and think positively to achieve success. At the time, this was a radical concept, and Napoleon was eager to learn more. Together, Napoleon and R.U. Darby discussed various topics, including the importance of setting goals and taking action towards achieving them. Darby believed in the power of visualization and encouraged Napoleon to use this technique to manifest his desires. He also taught Napoleon the power of belief and how positive thoughts can attract positive outcomes. Inspired by Darby's teachings, Napoleon began to see the limitless potential within himself and started to believe that he could achieve anything he set his mind to. He realized that his thoughts had the power to shape his reality, and that he needed to focus on positive thoughts to attract success into his life. Over the years, Napoleon applied Darby's teachings to his own life and witnessed firsthand the power of positive thinking. He went on to become one of the wealthiest men of his time, proving that Darby's teachings were not just words, but a powerful tool for achieving success. After meeting R.U. Darby, Napoleon Hill became obsessed with understanding the psychology of wealth. He interviewed hundreds of millionaires, including Andrew Carnegie, and discovered that they all shared one common trait. They had a remarkable faith in themselves. Napoleon recognized that this mindset was key to unlocking success and achieving financial freedom. At the age of 32, Napoleon Hill published a book titled The Law of Success, which outlined his philosophy of personal achievement. The book became a bestseller, cementing Napoleon's reputation as an expert on the psychology of wealth. However, Napoleon was not content with just writing books. He wanted to put his theories into practice and become wealthy himself. Determined to achieve financial success, Napoleon began investing in real estate, stocks, and bonds. He used the knowledge he had gained from studying the world's millionaires and was soon seeing impressive returns on his investments. But Napoleon's journey to wealth was not without its challenges. During the Great Depression, the stock market crashed and many people lost everything they had worked for. However, Napoleon was prepared for this event, as he had studied the cycles of the market and had pulled out just before the crash. This allowed him to buy stocks at a lower price and ride the wave of the market recovery. As the market began to rebound, Napoleon's investments soared, and he found himself becoming wealthier by the day. His ability to predict market crashes and invest wisely allowed him to amass a fortune, solidifying his status as a successful investor. Although Napoleon Hill amassed a considerable fortune, he never forgot the struggles he had endured in his early years. He remained committed to his mission of helping others achieve success and financial freedom. Napoleon continued to write books and mentor others, sharing the knowledge and insights he had gained throughout his life. He believed that anyone could become wealthy if they had the right mindset and were willing to put in the work. Today, Napoleon Hill's legacy continues to inspire and motivate people around the world. His books remain bestsellers, and his teachings are studied by those who want to achieve success in their own lives. Despite the challenges he faced early on, Napoleon proved that it is possible to overcome adversity and achieve greatness with hard work, determination, and a positive mindset. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring content. Thank you for watching, and until next time, remember to stay curious, stay motivated, and never give up on your dreams.